First of all, like to say what a great fight. Boxing is definitely back. 60,000 some people in the arena, and what a fight it was. Alexander Usyk or Alexander Usyk is the new heavyweight champion, and let's get into it. Well, it was pretty big, AJ coming out, the crowd was up on their feet. It was electrifying. Um, the first thing though, right out the gates, is Usyk is a big 221, and the dude was just full of energy. And the mind game started right away. I noticed when they were picking out their gloves, Usyk was asking AJ for like a selfie, and they're laughing and playing around. And I said to myself, I was like, that's kind of what happened with Andy Ruiz. They were kind of like buddy buddy, and we saw how that turned out. I was like, AJ seems to do better when he has an edge when the other guy doesn't like him. So I don't know if Usyk was trying to get AJ into that relaxed mode again to where, he's not really aggressive. But anyway, he comes out, he's a southpaw, and he's just constantly moving it. I mean, he's twitching, he's fainting. And I keep saying, and I didn't get to always hear what Rob McCracken was saying in the corner, but when I did hear him, he was just talking about jabbing. It's like AJ had one mode. And I don't know if he was weight drained because he keeps listening to everybody telling him he was too big, but he wasn't throwing. It's like he would just jab, and, right. He wasn't. Where was the uppercut tonight? That's his best punch. And I keep saying it was making me frustrated because I'm thinking and I'm saying out loud, use your weight. It's not a weight advantage if you're not using it. To stay on the outside and keep jabbing, I mean, you're going to get tired before he does. He should have fought up close, learn little tricks, put your weight on his legs, he went to the body occasionally, but not enough. That would have stopped Usyk from moving around so much. But I fought southpaws in the gym before, and a lot lower weight than me, and they're energetic. You have to learn ways to make them slow down, clinch, put your weight on them, uppercuts. AJ has to fight Usyk like a big man. It's not a weight advantage if you don't use your weight. It becomes a weight disadvantage. You have to use your weight and know how to use it. And it's like he just couldn't figure Usyk out, and Usyk hurt him early on in one of the rounds, almost knocked him down. AJ hurt him a couple times. It would be a round where like AJ would take it, but then Usyk would come back the next round and take it. And he knew how to throw a clever little jab. Like if AJ had his guard up, he would like kind of come underneath it. And it was just a rough night for AJ. And like Roy Jones was saying, the body language wasn't good at the end of the fight. Usyk's on his knees, he's thankful. And AJ's in the corner, like, I don't know if he was winded in pain. He was in some serious trouble in that last round. And I'm thinking, even if you feel you didn't do your best or you lost, get up and look like you did it. But he had a puffy eye, and he just went to the dressing room. But there's a rematch clause, and he's got to get somebody in there besides Rob McCracken. And that's what Lennox Lewis was saying, that Rob McCracken is not, I don't think he trains heavyweights. I think just Joshua. He needs a guy in there that can tell him how to use his size. It was just getting me so frustrated that he was fighting him on the outside. It was just like jab, jab. And what's weird is, to me, he looked slower than he did when he was at the higher weight. It's like that right he was throwing was like so slow, and it was like he was reaching almost. And I thought, Usyk was going to catch him with something when he was reaching. But I just don't know. I don't know if he can, if they have a rematch, and we all said this, when he lost to Andy Ruiz, he needed to get somebody else in there, and then he won the rematch, so then it looked like, oh, he's right by keeping Rob McCracken. So I'm not saying get rid of the guy, loyalty's everything. Just bring someone else in like he did. He's got to get in a heavyweight in his camp, like squash his beef with Lennox Lewis, get him in there. I don't think there's a better heavyweight he can get to show him how to use his size. Lennox Lewis would have figured Usyk out, and there wouldn't have been no bouncing around by round number 5. Trust me, that would have been it for that. It's just AJ fought a good fight. He didn't get blown out or anything like that. You know, a lot of the commentators were saying that he was stealing some of those rounds, and Roy Jones kept talking about how he's the heavier guy, but he was trying to play mind games with Usyk by getting off his stool first. You know, after when the bell sounded, he was getting up first to show Usyk he was full of energy. But to stand there and box a guy that's a cruiserweight known for boxing, they always say, fight a boxer and box a fighter. So you have to know how to use your size, or it becomes a liability. Oh man, it's just frustrating because he's 19 pounds heavier. He's 240, Usyk 221. You just have to know how to take the guy's legs. And then a lot of those tricky punches would have slowed down too because his legs would have been gone. But do you think AJ should get a new trainer into his camp? Do you think that he did better than the scorecards reflected? Do you think he should have an immediate rematch or just what? He didn't do a post-fight interview, and he didn't show up at the post-fight press conference either, as far as I know. Maybe he did later. I just saw Usyk for now, but Usyk had some cuts and stuff, so he definitely got hit. Usyk got hurt in that fight too, you know. But let me know what you guys thought of the fight. It was a good action-packed fight, and if they have a rematch, I'll definitely be watching. Shout out to both guys. Thanks for putting on a great fight to Alexander Usyk and AJ. He definitely won't. He's not quitting. He was already talking about if he won, he'd be back in the gym Monday or Tuesday. So these are two warriors, and they know what they're doing. AJ just has to tweak some things. He can't be so predictable. And I think he should go back to the big AJ, the 250 AJ. But, I did say during the fight when I was watching it, I said, well, maybe it is good he's 240 because you could tell this fight was going the distance by, I thought things would pick up for AJ from around round 4. That's kind of when he started to pick it up. But like the first 3 rounds I gave to Usyk. So this guy's just going to outpoint you if you don't know how to get him tired. I mean, the dude stays in condition. AJ does too, but you just have to know he never fought a guy like that. And then being a southpaw, they always say keep your left foot on the outside of his foot, and that's a lot to think about. I don't know if he's trying to think of that. And then he kept getting hit with the same straight left from Usyk. At one point, Usyk landed 3 of them. He went 1, 2, paused, and then hit him on the 3rd one. I was like, wow, I know AJ's getting frustrated, and I didn't want him to panic either because he had the lump under his eye. He'll be back, but he's got to learn how to fight big. No point in being big if you're not going to fight big. This has been the J. Roos Theory. Make sure to comment, share, subscribe, and be fearless. Yay, yay, boxing's back.